Shirley Dalton.
Thanks, Jenny. I don't know if some of you can see, but I have this ball and chain around my leg. And I'm going to talk to you today about intuition. And yet, I'm dressed as a prisoner. And so, for me, that's sometimes what happens to us, is that we get paralysed by fear. Our intuition nudges us in a little direction and we feel that little push, and then this thing of fear comes in and goes, no, no, you can't go there, you can't do that. And so today is a little bit like a coming out for me. So I might just lose the ball and chain, because I'm going to talk a little bit about fear and a lot about intuition, and see where we go with that, and talk to you about some of your hopes and dreams and wishes and things that are actually holding you back and what you can do about that. Anyone else want the ball and chain? Sure? Oh, mine. There you go. That's for Nigel. So that's what life can be like, isn't it? Do you know that, like, when you're working and you get this little aha moment, you have this little intuition, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you've got a dream? And how many of you in business are trying to make business decisions on hard, cold facts? And yet, you know, a study in the Harvard Business Review showed that 45% of executives actually make decisions based on their intuition. So what is intuition? It's that little bit of knowing, isn't it, within us that says, yep, I'm going to do that, or I know that, or I don't feel so good about that. And intuition actually shows up in a whole heap of different ways. I can remember, this is about 20 odd years ago, I'd always had this dream of going into business. And we had this opportunity. I was working with a company, and he said, you can come in and you have to just sign these papers, and then you can be part of this business. And it was training, and I thought, oh, beauty, I love to train. And it was working with business people, and I thought, oh, even better. Anyway, we were about to sign on the dotted line. We were going to the bank that morning. And we didn't really know anything about business. Didn't have a clue. But what we were going to do was to be mortgaging our house on this business. Well, that night, that morning, I woke up in a panic. And I'm holding on to my ring, and I'm saying to Ross, my ring, my ring, my ring, my ring. He said, what's the matter? What's the matter? I said, my ring, my ring, my ring, my ring. I said, they're taking everything, but they're not going to take my ring. He said, what are you talking about? I said, I don't know. I said, I've had this dream. I said, and they are taking everything. They've taken the house. We've lost the house. We've lost everything. I said, they cannot take my wedding ring. And I was distraught. The tears were streaming down. I said, that's a sign. That's got to be a sign that this isn't the right thing to do. And so we went to the bank that day, and I said, look, please, I said, just tell them that we can't get the finance. We can't go ahead with this. Anyway, he said, okay, that's fine. And so we went into the person that we were going to buy this business from. And, of course, I wasn't very honest in those days. I'm a bit more upfront, because it wasn't my fault. The bank wouldn't give us the loan, and I didn't blame the bank. Anyway, so we said, look, I'm sorry that we're not going ahead with this. Oh, okay. So he was really disappointed, and we were disappointed too. Well, do you know what? Within a week, his business actually did go bankrupt. And do you know what? We would have lost the house. And I thought, oh, gee. So how many of you have dreams like that, or, you get a sign, something happens and you just know. And that's one way, isn't it, that our intuition shows up. Then what about that feeling that you get? Yeah, sometimes, you're nodding, and we just know, don't we? Here's this, oh, and some days it's a good, oh, You know, we see somebody nice, or we feel like that we've met them and we've known them forever, and we probably have, and it's like a feeling of coming home. And we get that gut feeling. And then how else does intuition show up? So we've got dreams, and we've got that gut feeling. Do any of you hear voices? Do you ever have this little voice in your head that tells you, say this, do this? Yeah? You're nodding? Yeah?
I have an image.
You get an image?
Like the iron or something like that.
Yes? Okay, and that's another one. So some of us hear voices, and some of us see visions.
And roadblocks.
It says don't go forward.
Or you feel like you're having to push and that doesn't feel right, and you're not getting to where you need to be, so it can't be right.
That's right. So if it's too hard, it's generally not right, if you're having to push too hard. Yep. I was working with a client not long ago, and I've got this little voice in my head, and he's talking away, and we just didn't seem to be getting anywhere. You know, we seemed to be going around and around and around, and I'm thinking, oh, gee, you know, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do here. And this little voice said, ask him what happened when he was 4. I said, well, mate, you know, I've got this internal dialogue going on, and what do you mean ask him what happened when he was 4? Ask him what happened when he was 4. Okay, so I'm learning to trust it. Said, all right, what happened when you were 4? Oh, he said 4. Oh, God, I haven't thought about that in nearly 50 years. And then he started to tell the story, and this had impacted his life over the last 50 years. Now, where does that come from? Where does that come from? Is it something that we know? And according to Gavin de Becker, it is. It's something that we are actually condensing and processing information in a split second, and particularly if we're in danger, we will often process this information and we will see things really, really quickly, and it's sort of like a deck of cards just go... Yep. And sometimes it's already there. You know, sometimes we're sort of tapping into this. As I was waiting out there today or earlier on, honestly, my notes went. I've given this speech 10,000 times in my sleep last night. And I've written all of my notes and written them out. And I was standing up there and talking to Shivani, and I said, you know, I'm not present. I don't know where I am. I'm just not present. And my speech went. And it out there. And so I really don't know what I'm saying, because in the toilet I said, please, can you just channel? Can you just talk through me and give the ladies and the gents what it is that they need to know today? And so we're just going to channel. And so I freely admit that I've become more comfortable with owning it and admitting that I am intuitive. Now, I don't want to be called a psychic, because I don't see those sorts of visions, and no, I'm not going to say, well, there's somebody there, because there might be, but I'm not really seeing them. But there's this intuition, and you know, I'm not the only one who has it. Everybody has it, and yet if we but most of us won't tune into it. And so I don't have a problem making a decision unless I can't make a decision. Now, I know that sounds funny, but if the facts are there, or not even the facts, if it lines up and it's right, and we just go, yep, let's do it, and we don't worry about it. And then there'll be other times where I'll go, I don't know, I just can't decide. Well, when I'm saying I don't know, I just lose this little word, the don't, and it's a no. Yeah. So how many of you have that? You know, you have a little way that your body or your mind or your intuition tells you it's right or it's wrong. It's good or it's bad. Let's go with it. Let's hold off. In fact, I was talking to my speaking coach. He's a wonderful man named Blue Heckler, and Shivani knows him as well. And I was talking about this intuition, and he said, you know, one of his friends is a pastor, a religious pastor, and he said he often gets complaints from people. They come up and they say, do you know what? God's not listening. He said, oh, really? He said, no, he's not listening, he's not answering. And he said, really? He said, tell me about that. And they said, well, he's not giving what I want. And he said, well, you know what? He said, God does answer. He always answers. But you know, sometimes the answer is no. And sometimes the answer is slow. And so again, this ties in with what you were saying then, Shireen, about if it's not working and if it's not going right, then often we're pushing too hard and it's not the right thing to do. So your intuition is nudging you in a direction, or it's protecting you from having a direction. And then if we decide, okay, I'm really going to go for this, then what happens? We get this prisoner, we get this fear coming in. And today is really my breaking out party, because for so long I've been hiding this. And then I thought, I made a decision last year and I said, righto, that's it, I'm going for it. Oh God, you're still there. Yeah. And that's what happened. I went for it and I hid and I popped up again and then I hid and I popped up and I hid. So I thought, okay, I've got to do something about this. I've got to learn about this thing called fear. I've got to get over this. You know, how many achievers have we got in the audience here? Come on, I've got to achieve. I'm going to beat this thing. I can do it. And then I'd go crawling back into my hole again. So I thought, all right, the first thing to do is to find out what I want. So how many of you actually know what you want? Let's see. How many of you would like to get married?
Yes.
Yes, couple, okay. And how many of you have dreamed of having a big diamond ring? Yes. Okay, you can have a big diamond ring. See, dreams do come true. There's a diamond ring. Who else had their hand up? Yes. Now it's really important. One more. I do have one more. See? And how many of you are frightened to ask? Yeah. How many of you are frightened to say, actually, that's what I want? So here's another one. Now, what if I turned into a fairy godmother? And what if I could actually give you what you want? That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah? Okay. I'll keep the wand because I've got a few more wishes to grant yet. So that's the diamond rings. How many of you would actually like a really nice relationship? Yeah, okay. We've got a couple of hearts over here. Absolutely, yeah. Another heart here. Okay.
Thank you.
Where else?
Thanks, babe.
Okay. One more heart. Okay. See, now isn't that funny? How did my intuition know to put 4 hearts in? Huh? There you go. Now you have to treasure this. Where was... You have to treasure this because you have to signal to the universe and tell everybody that this is what I want. How many of you would like some cash? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, let's see how much you want it now. Come get it. You're not coming. Come get it. Come get it. Sometimes you have to move. Sometimes you have to actually take action. Yeah. Who's heard of the law of attraction? Who's heard of The Secret? Yeah. Okay. And they say in The Secret, don't they? Ask, believe, receive. And everybody thinks that you're going to sit there and go, $1 million, $1 million, And then we wonder why it doesn't happen. But you know what? There's actually a reason for that, because it says ask, believe, and receive. And if you really believe that you're going to get something, what do you actually do? You live it. You actually take some action. John Asraf is a guy in The Secret, and he has this law that he talks about, and it's the law of Goya. Do you know what that stands for? Get off your ass. So we actually do have to do something, and yet your dreams will be delivered. Now, who would like to win a tournament or a trophy of some sort? Who's in a competition at the moment? Yes. Okay, you can be the winner. There's your trophy. Thank you. Okay. Now it's really important. Who else would like some gold coins? Do you have a gold coin? You've got the diamond ring. There you go. You'll have one too. Okay. Yep, good. Okay. Now what else have I got in my bag of tricks? Who wants to be a winner? Yes, we all do, don't we? Well, I've got 4. I've got 4 winners. Okay, you got one?
A winner.
Yeah. Okay, where else? Yes. Oops, we've dropped one. Okay, twice. Okay, now why am I doing all of this? Huh? Okay, all right, I'm a little bit nuts, that's okay. You see, I love playing like this. Ever since I was a little girl, about 3 or 4 years old, and I'm an only child, so I didn't have any brothers and sisters, not that they probably would have played with me anyway, and don't hold that against me that I've got the only child syndrome. But I used to dress up, and I'd have my little bikini on, and the little fat belly that little 4-year-olds have, and I would have my little blackboard and I would teach, and I have all my little dollies around and I would teach, and that's what I was born to do. I go out and I learn, and then I come back and then I teach. And so these little props and things, I got so excited. I wanted to have the ball and chain, and I rang up and I said, where can I get one of these? Anyway, so all of the shops were shutting at 3 o'clock, and I went to Shindig's and they said, I'll be open till 4:30. And they said, ball and chain there, yep, I've got a couple of those. Oh, it's just a plastic one, it's about $6. Great, okay, I'm in the car and I'm off. $75 later I came out. Oh man, did I have fun. I was, look at this, it's a prison outfit. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, look, there's a little magic wand. Woo! Yeah, and then here's all of these other little things that we can have. Oh, I had fun. Now that's intuition. That's when it feels right. You go, yes, this is fun. And then what happened? The fear came again. I can't do that. What will they think of me? God, they'll talk about me. They'll think I'm stupid. Oh, no, I better not go. Better not do that. Better turn up in my business suit. I hate business suits. I do. I'm not real fussed on makeup, am I, Libby? I hate makeup too. And I hate high heels as well. So it's a really good opportunity for me to get the flats on. Yeah? So we can be ourselves. We can find a way to be ourselves. So like I said, this is my coming out party. Who would like the key to unlock their business potential? Okay, you've had a couple. Who hasn't had one yet? Okay. Yes. Unlock your business potential. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. Now this is really important for you to get into the spirit of this, because if you believe in these things, they will actually come true. Now, who would like to have a baby? Doesn't mean in the next 6 months or whatever, but who would like a baby? Okay, I've got one of them. Okay, here's a baby.
Oh, thank you.
Now, do you remember I said, I'm not psychic? Well, it's twins.
I am twins.
There you go.
You are a twin.
See, you just never know, do you? Anybody else like a baby? I've got a couple more. Okay. Now you have to look after these. Remember, these are your little babies. So you have to look after them. Okay. One more. Oh, this is sad. I've got a little baby here looking for a home. A grandchild. You'll have a grandchild. Okay. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Now, in September last year, I thought it'd be really cool to have this party called Come As You Will Be in 2016. And I put this out to all of my clients, and we invited a heap of people, and I got really disappointed because nobody would come. I'd organised this whole big party and they wouldn't come because it was Come As You Will Be in 2016. And we got this idea, we did Jack Canfield's program over in the States about 5 years ago, and it was a hoot. You know, we all had our props and we all got dressed up and we all said what we would be doing in 5 years' time, and then for a couple of hours you go out and you actually play act. And I felt like I was telling whoppers. You know, I've got these houses in Hawaii and I'm on the cover of Time magazine and etc. And if you were a stockbroker, you'd be on the phone. Oh yes, just put $1 million on those, thank you. Oh yes, that's all right. Don't worry about that. Oh yes, get the car ready. Can you please get the boat ready? And so you'd have such fun. So I thought, this will be really good. So I put the invitation out, and guess what? Nobody would come. And a few. And I said, is this Aussies? Is this what this is about? I said, so okay, tell me, why won't you come? And people said, well, first of all, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to be. Oh, well, that's sad. And second of all, what will people think? If I go out there and I tell them what I want to do, what will people say? Okay, so that's stopping you. And then the third one. And what if I do tell you, and now you're going to keep me accountable? So I might actually have to go and do it. So no, I'm not coming. So there was 20 of us, and we had a great time. It was in at Cook's Hill Gallery. And so you have to have props. So here I am. Now, do you think I'm scared putting this out? Yeah, you betcha. So here's the Pulitzer Prize goes to Australia, and if you have a close look at this, this is the New York Times, and we were over there at Christmas time, and I got my photo taken in front of that building. And it says, all the news we hope to print, and it's in September 2016. And somebody came up to our little desk earlier on and went, oh, cool! Oh, wow! When did that happen? I said, 2016. 2016. Yeah. So these are my dreams, and it's scary putting it out there, and God, you might hold me accountable. And here's another one on the cover of the Speakers Association. Yeah? And I decided, come on, I've been talking about this, banging on about being a speaker for 30 odd years. What am I doing about it? Come on. And then I would get the fears, then I would get the frights up and go, I can't do that. Exactly what Shivani was talking about earlier, I'm not good enough. What will people think, etc. And then I would close myself down. And so what we've been talking about here today is not only me, but everybody else. And so what is it that you want to do? What is it that your intuition is nudging you toward? And then what is it that your fear is holding you back? Now, what are we going to do about that fear? Because we've got our logical brain and our analytical brain that says, well, that's stupid, isn't it? And then there's this thing in here that says, a little subconscious. And so if you've done any work on neuroscience and the neuroplasticity of the brain, we can actually trick it. And so that's what all of this is about. This is all a bit of fun to say, well, this is what I really want. And so our brains don't know the difference between what we think is reality here and what is imagination. And so you need to be visualising. First of all, you need to say, this is what I want, and you need to be game to put it out there. I did an exercise with a lady who's an art therapist, and she made me draw, and I'm not the world's best drawer. And so here was some artwork I had, travelling the world, writing my book, speaking, earning lots of money so that I can have my education foundation and give that to kids. And we have 3 houses, one in Kauai, one in Rainbow Bay, Queensland, and one at number 10 Ocean Street, Dixon Park. Because Tinkler bought the other one I wanted at number 4. And so she actually drew me this picture because I said I broke down and I was scared and I was frightened and I said I can't do it. And she said, what do you want? And I said, well, I would love it if somebody would help me. I would love it if somebody was on the other side of that door welcoming me through, holding my hand and bringing me through. And wouldn't we like that? Yeah. So here's what I'm encouraging you to do, is to go for what you want. You've probably already decided. But have the courage to put your hand up and say, this is what I want to do. Because there are people who will help you, but we can't help you if we don't know. So, do your affirmations. What's an affirmation? An affirmation is something that's happening in the present, and you might read it to yourself. You might laminate it. You might feel it as you say it. Okay? I am so grateful and happy for the fact that through sharing my story and talents, gifts and abilities, I am now helping millions of people to go for and get what they want. And then there's a couple of others. So you make a precision affirmation. You start to visualise. You start to have your little props. You put these things around. Because in here doesn't really know the difference. And so if that's what you want and that's what you believe, remember, ask, believe and achieve, then you can have it. But you've got to do the work. Sometimes meditation works. You've got to be able to listen. Listen to that little voice inside of you that tells you, yep, do this, do that. No, don't do that. Take that inspired action. So one of my dreams was that I would have a standing ovation. This chap said to me today, or not today, but might happen today, who knows. And he said, have you ever had a standing ovation? And I was sort of confronted and I said, oh, no, I haven't. He said, well, why don't you make that one of your goals? And I went, that'd be a bit funny. And so I had this visualisation of today, but it didn't quite work because you were all going to be in theatre seats. And I walked into the room this morning and went, oh, okay. Everybody's sitting in a different seat. So go for what you want. This is my coming out party today. I'm going to lose the prisoner hat, lose the ball and chain, go for what you want. Use your intuition, take the steps that you need to and get over that fear and get rid of it. Okay. Thank you.
Shirley, thank you. You got what you wanted.
Yes!
You deserve it.